Welcome back to another episode of Our 3 Cents, and as you can see by the title, we are reviewing a classic today. And this is a first for us, because we are finally reviewing, well, E.T., obviously, but not just that. We're actually reviewing a 4K movie this time, because we finally got a 4K player. And this is the first one we chose to do. Because, why not?
And all I can say is somebody stop chopping them damn onions.
Yeah.
That's my biggest problem with this movie. It's, sad and stuff and junk and stuff. But not much can be said about this movie that hasn't been said a million times before. It is nearly perfect.
Oh, yeah.
So we're probably going to spend the next 5-7 minutes just gushing over how much we love the movie. Gush, 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 gush.
Yeah, there's really not much that can really be said about this. There's not a lot. I honestly can't think of anything bad with the movie. It's just one of those movies that a lot of times you'll watch movies and you'll be like, well, I wish that that this was explained more, or this, or, this could potentially be, maybe it needs a sequel to it, or no, nothing is needed with this movie. It is an all-encompassing, singular bit of perfection. Like the things that you don't know just enhance the movie.
Like, who are all the grown-ups? Who are the people with the keys in the trucks at the beginning? Who are they? I mean, obviously,
It's the same guy from the end.
the same guy from the end, yes, who's been looking for E.T. forever, but who is it? Why? What is their purpose? What are they?
Did E.T. come when he was a child and he got a chance to see him and he's been on a hunt for him ever since? Because, do they come down and make regular trips down? And they're, so
30
what's their
years
purpose?
or so, or what's the purpose? I mean, it's obvious that the E.T.'s race are botanists. I mean, that's pretty obvious, but it's just by looking inside their ship that there's all the plant life. That's what they're collecting. So, I mean, maybe they come back to collect more plants to see if there's anything different. I don't know. I haven't read the book, so I mean, is there any more answers in the book?
I never read it. Now, the sequel, unofficial, kind of unofficial, does explain more. They actually are botanists, and they come to the planet because they need different type of plant life to be able to help their planet, and they can't survive on our planet, which is why E.T. starts to get sick very, very fast. Because it's not habitable for their race, and blah, blah, blah. This book is really weird. It's really, really weird. That's all I gotta say. It's just super strange. But yeah. So I don't know. I wouldn't be able to give you any more information, because again, I haven't read that novelization. I won't. It'd be like novelization of Willow. I'll probably never read that because they're so old and so already kind of in rough shape.
But there's a lot of lightheartedness and funny in it.
Oh god, that scene just kills me. Yeah, this is a movie that goes from lighthearted to all that's cute, or all that, and this is a really nice friendship built up, to okay, yeah, we're gonna shift dramatically and go really, really dark and messed up. And it does super quick. It's just kind of out of nowhere. From the moment that Mike finds E.T. to the end of the movie, it's just like
NASA's bad. NASA is the bad people,
Mm-hmm.
and they come in. I mean, what come in full astronaut gear into the house is like that. That's the only thing they had. I guess it's good enough to protect him from the vacuums of space. It's good enough to protect him from
Yeah.
his house in the suburbs.
Like, really a terrifying scene. Like, especially especially as a kid, that was a terrifying scene. Just like, oh my God, everything from the music to the lighting and the composition of the scene, it's just like, what is happening here?
But then you head around and have just like, just really scary moments, and then, and then it flips back to action adventure, and and not really action but adventure and wilderness, and it's just all over the place, which makes the movie so good. It's just literally is all over the place, but it feels smooth. It doesn't feel like jerky.
Yeah.
It flows very, very well. And even after all this time, the CG is actually still pretty good. I mean,
yeah.
CG before it was CG. I hate using the term CG, but it was green screen, obviously.
Yeah.
But like when the bikes are flying in the air, there's only one little moment where it looked bad.
It looked flat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I noticed it too. Yeah, it does hold up very, very well. And considering that that's really the only green screen / CG type effect that's really in the movie, I would say that they did pretty good for one little moment of it being like that. All the rest of this was practical.
Yep. And this is the original 1982 version. It has been cleaned up, but it's not the remastered edition with the special effects added back in. So this is the original version of it. It's just clean.
Yeah.
So it has, guns and everything, guns and terrorists.
And there was a lot of flack for that, but apparently it's actually what Steven Spielberg wanted in the first place. That he really hated the scene with the guns. He didn't feel that it was necessary, and he felt that it was a little too much for a kids movie, considering that they were chasing kids for them to all just be strapped with guns. And I can see his point, but at the same time, it made what was happening a little bit more menacing.
Mm-hmm. It made it feel like
and it made
the adults are the bad guys.
Yeah. One of the things that I really like about this movie that I never really noticed until I rewatched it and I actually saw something about it online, that almost the entire movie is physically shot from a very low angle. Mm-hmm. To actually make it seem like a child's point of view throughout the whole movie. And I was trying to pay attention to that watching it this time, and it's true, like everything, the camera is really, like physically the camera is down lower, like shooting up and shooting ahead, make it seem like a child's point of view.
Yeah.
So.
And of course, the stories that everybody knows, the thing about Reese's Pieces, how M&M screwed up, or makers of M&M screwed up and didn't put their candy in there, and the whole thing about E.T. recognizing Yoda, and it's all those things that make the movie so great, just the little things. So, and of course the John Williams score obviously is it's a whole part of the reason why the end of the movie is so oniony.
Probably one of his best, I would say. Everybody talks about Star Wars, but I really think that his orchestral theme for this movie, it feels complete, and it actually makes the movie feel complete. Like Star Wars, there were individual pieces that are fantastic. There's no denying that. But this one, it's the whole thing. It feels like one long orchestral piece that ebbs and flows with the movie, instead of individual themes like in Star Wars. And you were talking about kind of the stories that everyone knows. Here's one that a lot of people may not know. When Steven Spielberg was first shopping this movie, He went to two places, Columbia and Universal. He actually went to Columbia first, but they had already been offered another Spaceman Comes to Earth movie, and so they decided to do that, so he went with Universal. Starman. Columbia passed on this, which I'm not saying was a mess up on their part, because Starman is a fantastic movie. Highly, highly underrated. But you got to think that they maybe kicked themselves a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit, because this was kind of the movie that helped put Universal back on the map in a lot of ways. Although they did have, actually, yeah, I was going to say they had Jaws, but Jaws was actually after this. So.
No, Jaws was in '77. This was in '82.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, obviously that iconic image is still used by Universal today.
Well, and one.
Yeah.
Which.
I mean, still, either way, but.
But yeah, something that I think that it took me seeing this as an adult to really, really heavily notice. Henry Thomas is just so damn fantastic in this movie. I mean, one of those things that as a kid I didn't really notice because I wasn't able to really distinguish between good acting and bad acting, you know. But seeing this as an adult, Henry Thomas is fucking fantastic. Just so good in it. I mean, most of the kids are, you know, the guy who plays Michael,
Peter Coyote. No.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. But yeah, he's good, but it seems like he's not at times, but he's playing an older brother.
Yeah.
Older brothers are jerks.
Robert
McDonough.
McNaughton.
McNaughton, yeah. Yeah, that's right. But Henry Thomas is just really so good in this. I mean, just really, really, like, wow. You know? And of course, everybody's really good in this.
Peter Coyote played Keys.
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
And you've got D. Wallace as the mom.
C. Thomas Howell in his movie introduction. This was his first movie. He went on to probably have a bigger career than almost anybody in this film, except for Drew Barrymore.
He played Tyler. I mean, he just played one of the friends. So.
Yeah. But he went on to have a massive career, and of course, Drew Barrymore as Gertie in her second movie role.
Back when she was just starting. Well, a couple years before she became an alcoholic drug addict. So.
Yeah.
So.
And she went from this to Firestarter. That's a pretty big twist.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean.
So I say not much more to say. Just us gushing about it for 5, 7, 10 minutes, whatever.
Yeah.
But definitely give it another watch. If you haven't seen it in a while, give it another watch. Look at it through as an adult's eyes. It's so much different.
Probably best family film ever made. And possibly best movie of the 80s. One of...
close, but...
One of...
Yeah.
But as a family film, it's kind of the template for what a family film should be, and I don't think it's used often enough as that template. It's because it's a movie that's speaking to children, not like children. It's like speaking to children like you would speak to an adult. It's not pulling any punches. It's being very honest. It's
speaking to them like people.
Yeah, it's probably, I mean, especially for our generation, it's one of the movies that's taught us, that helped teach us about death.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
whew. Damn onions.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
So until next time, we'll be right here.